Hello and welcome to Car Fix Automotive. Today's video we are going to discuss about top most common symptoms of bad engine coolant temperature sensor. The engine coolant temperature sensor measures the coolant temperature of the engine for the control module, which is then used to alter the fuel injection parameters and also to activate cooling fan when in need. Faulty or bad coolant temperature sensor. Common symptoms. It's important to know that if the coolant temperature sensor of your car is failing, it could damage your car engine. Don't ignore the following signs. One of the first symptoms you come across when the ECT sensor fails will be the engine malfunction light flashing or stays on. Number 1. Check engine light is on in your dashboard. Modern vehicles are equipped with onboard diagnostics, OBD, systems that monitor various sensors and components. A malfunctioning CTS will be detected by the ECU, which compares the sensor's readings with expected values. If a discrepancy is found, the ECU triggers the check engine light and logs a diagnostic trouble code, DTC. This code can be read with an OBD scanner to pinpoint the CTS as the source of the problem. Example of trouble codes: P0115, P0116, P0125. Number 2. Engine overheating. The CTS also plays a role in controlling the engine cooling fan. It sends temperature data to the ECU, which then decides when to activate the cooling fan to dissipate excess heat. If the sensor fails, it might not signal the ECU that the engine is getting too hot, preventing the fan from turning on. Consequently, the engine can overheat, which can cause severe damage like warped cylinder heads, blown head gaskets, or even complete engine failure if not addressed promptly. Number 3. Fuel consumption increases. One of the very indications that you might have a faulty coolant temperature sensor is when you notice a drop to your fuel economy. The reason this happens is as follows: the faulty sensor might send a wrong signal to the computer, leading to a miscalculation in the engine timing and fuel calculation. If the computer keeps receiving a cold signal from the faulty sensor, it will interpret this as if the engine is cold and continue to inject more fuel. This action will not only lead to poor fuel economy but more importantly, it can impact engine performance. Number 4. Black smoke from the exhaust. Black smoke coming out of your car's exhaust pipe could be another indication that your car's coolant temperature sensor is faulty or failing. Here's what happens: faulty readings from the coolant temperature sensor can cause the engine to miscalculate the air-fuel mix in the engine. Anytime the air-fuel mix ratio is not in proportion, and if the fuel mixture becomes too rich, the fuel will not be able to burn up inside the combustion chamber. As a result, the fuel will burn up in the car's exhaust pipes, which causes the exhaust to release black smoke. If the amount of black smoke coming from a car is excessive, it is best not to attempt to drive the car. Number 5. Hard starting. When the engine is cold, the ECU relies on the coolant temperature sensor to provide extra fuel for a cold start. If the sensor provides incorrect readings, the engine might not get the right amount of fuel, leading to difficulty in starting. Similarly, incorrect readings when the engine is hot can also cause starting problems. Don't ignore the warning signs. The coolant temperature sensor is a crucial component for ensuring your engine performs at an optimal level. It is based on the signals from the sensor at the car computer calculates engine timing and fuel injection. If the signal is wrong, this important calculation will be misjudged. What do you do when the coolant temperature lights comes on? When the coolant temperature light comes on in your vehicle, it indicates that the engine is overheating. Here are the steps you should take. Number 1. Pull over safely. If it's safe to do so, pull over to the side of the road and turn off the engine. Allow the engine to cool down. Open the hood of your car to allow the heat to dissipate more quickly. Do not attempt to open the radiator cap while the engine is hot. Number 2. Check coolant level. Once the engine has cooled down, check the coolant level in the reservoir. If it's low, you can carefully add more coolant, but be sure to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for the type of coolant to use. Number 3. Check for leaks. Inspect the engine and radiator for any signs of coolant leaks. If you notice a leak, it's best to have the vehicle towed to a mechanic for further inspection and repair. Number 4. Seek professional help. If you're unable to identify the issue or if the problem persists, it's best to have a professional mechanic inspect the vehicle to diagnose and repair the issue. Remember, driving with an overheating engine can cause serious damage, so it's important to address the issue promptly and safely.